I was having this discussion yesterday with Jay and Azure. How long do I think that they are going to make the Kazeros raid? A Fortress of Obliteration. My prediction is 6 gates. 5 or 6. The 6th one being in quotation marks because the 5th gate will probably lead to the 6th. Won't actually be a gate break. It will just be a, oh shit, he phased again.
Like they mine?
Yeah.
What if it's only one gate? Just Kazeros. The fight, 50 minutes long.
Holy shit. I'm down. 30 minutes on Reclear. We're actually out of Awakenings.
No, 50 minutes on
Reclear.
In rage time, hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm down. One gate would be crazy. There was a file or like an image leaked from KR's game. They found an image of Armin with slightly shifted clothes and his eyes are glowing blue, like the Kazeros possessed appearance. So Armin might be a boss fight.
Okay, new theory. The fight, one gate, it takes place, whatever damage you deal to him sticks.
Okay.
So you have to keep going in and dying repeatedly. And it takes the entire week worth of time to deal the amount of health he has if you're pulling it 24/7.
Oh shit, I'm down. That's if you're playing like Glaive or something though, right? Like if you're Soul Eater, you obviously just walk in and press one burst.
Well, like you have to keep hopping groups to try and find someone with a lower percentage. So it's like, I got Kazeros down to 50% in mine, and then you...
It's like the channel hopping for Guardian, for the world, for the field boss. Yeah, okay. Almost dead here, you load in, full health.
Yeah.
New tactic. You, Kazeros, 50-minute boss fight, his weakness, flashbangs.
His weakness, campfire. Like,
Flash
the
grenade.
Campfire, Lutera horns.
Yeah, flash grenade, using Shandi on a sidereal weapon. The classic things that would make you go blind, yeah. My honest take is 4 gates, but that the 4th gate will be multiple phased to basically be 5 or 6. I mean, honestly, I think it'd be fine, because, like, we don't know what's after Kazeros, right? They've said they're pouring... Like, on that last episode, he said they're pouring, like, literally all of their effort into making this worth 6 years of wait for a boss. So it's like, if they're gonna put all their effort in, and they're really gonna take, like, a little step back break after this raid, I would hope that the raid, like, honestly, why not make it more of, like, a WoW start? Why not make it, like, 6 to 8 bosses? Like, why not have it be fucking long? If we're not gonna be doing something else after it for a while, just give it enough rewards to where that it even might count for 2 lockouts, like 2 raids. Like there's not any really need to have always get all your gold from 3 different raids. You could get an overwhelming majority from Kazeros, and that's the one where you spend your time in.
Or what if Kazeros doesn't have traditional rewards?
This is the chance for them to do a long raid with different reward scaling, a completely different way of getting loot. I hope that he's not reward focused. I really hope it's a lore cinematic, hello, you've played the game for 6 years, this is the guy you've been waiting to fight kind of shit. Because, like, this is the game's Arthas. Is going to fall, and then so will the game. At least the director said that it was going to be insanely lore-filled, with a lot of cutscenes. I know to some people, they're like, oh, dear God,
People will
cutscenes.
auto-skip.
But that's fine if you auto-skip. I'm ready for the first playthrough experience, dude. Like, I just want it to look good. I do hope it's not short, though. I'll be very disappointed if it's anything less than 4 gates. Really
What
hope
if it's just, like, one gate that
is long.
takes multiple weeks for the top people to clear? Like, it takes 2 months.
I don't know how they would do that, though. Like, I guess a giant that we slowly fell by getting stronger, like, outside of fighting. We don't get a reward from the raid, but we get rewards from other stuff happening that allow us to overpower him. I tried to think about something like that, too, at one point. But, like, I lose it in the sense of, like, when you think about it in the sense of, like, the game, having something last that long is very... You gotta think of it in terms of game span. Like, having a play session activity last longer than 20 minutes is scary, but, like, I mean, it can be done. Bro was absolute cinema, and she's fucking 24 minutes, right? Like, we'd either have to be getting stronger outside of the raid through some sort of progression that would then, like, be reflected in the raid as he gets weaker, or, like, how do you save a lockout for your health, right?
Or, like, just spending time in the raid might give you reward. Like, spending
time,
like, every pull you do gives you rewards, whether or not you kill it.
But then how do you not have people just cheese it by reset instantly?
Who cares? If you just want to get your reward, you go in.
Oh, and you're saying they can't go back into the next
reset.
week. You're saying that they only get 1 attempt a week,
No, you can have more attempts.
but you only get a couple.
No, you can have as many attempts as you want, but
But
you only get your rewards once.
Okay. I see.
Normally, you get your rewards from your raid at the end of the fight, but for Kazeros, as soon as you step into the platform and you're sent into the fight, like, you know, the cutscene plays, and Thyrane hands you his sword, and that's your reward for the week.
Oh yeah.
And then you reset because you don't actually have any intention of fighting Kazeros because he's very difficult. That way they can make it to where he's just incredibly hard, but you still get the rewards to eventually progress and kill him.
You're saying this would take multiple weeks? I mean, I think it's fine. I think that you could do it that way, right? I think it's harder to design a raid that lasts multiple weeks if it's just one fight, right?
Well, you just make it really fucking hard.
But I think that's more off-putting, right? Like more dissuading than a multi-gated or multi-boss fight. Because like people want some sort of feedback, right? Like they're getting progress. Maybe not even on their character, but on the boss.
You can fight the boss. You don't have to reset at the door.
That would be more obscured progress, right?
You don't get the progress of winning.
But at least on a re-clear, say it takes multiple weeks. If there's multiple gates, you can clear a couple gates. You at least get the satisfaction of winning against those guys.
You could also do it to where they have phase achievements. Each phase, he has multiple thousands of bars of HP, and each phase is a full ass boss fight of length.
I mean, yeah, I can see it. But does that mean he has phase breaks or no?
No, you have to start from the first phase and get to the last if you want to achieve victory. The point is, you get your rewards, but you don't get victory for a long time because you have to power up.
Does the boss have like some sort of feedback when you lose? Like, is there a feeling of losing the boss each week until you win? I think that makes the win more satisfactory. I don't know if other people would like that though.
Eventually you have to learn all the phases, right? Like if there's 20 phases, in each phase is essentially a full-ass boss fight. So if you win, you've essentially done your week's worth of raid, but you've already gotten your reward. And there would be probably additional rewards for win. Cosmetic, though, like titles and shit.
In a fight like this, does it have a normal
amount.
mode and a hard mode?
I don't know. I think no. I wouldn't want there to be an item level restriction. Like, I would want the fight to be very difficult for a party of full Esters. I don't know.
I mean, right now, our power disparity between the top end and, like, even, like, a 1700 something is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, nigh impossible to balance his current state.
With this implementation, you're not balancing around victory.
You're balancing around eventual victory.
Yeah, through whatever system you give them that you're getting rewards in on this fight.
I guess, like, I'm down, right? I think somebody who's really dedicated to raiding and likes to progress through stuff over time is down. I think it's just not standard Lost Ark. I want my raid done in 20 minutes. I think is a toxic mentality. And
well, if you want your raid done in 20 minutes, you don't have to get the win, right? You can just go in, get your stuff, and get out.
But they want to win. Like, they want to win and win.
Fair.
Although I don't think that matters. I think it's more satisfying to have a progressed boss fight that you feel like satisfaction from actually finishing. But there would be that clash of interests. But I do think Kazeros is supposed to be that kind of in it. It's weird, because like, if you're somebody who hasn't paid attention to the story at all, or just started playing the game last week, then you're like, what the fuck is this?
You don't feel the build-up.
But to somebody who's played the whole time, you still have to make, like, I've watched the game since it was beta. Like, I want this fight to be something.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to clear it in the first week and then
like
farm it or...
I literally have never had more fun than Gate 4th Amine. I will take something kicking my ass for months. I'll take it. Like, I don't have to win. I'll win eventually. The PvE game.
Ideally, the way that the reward structure works for it would be like the absolute best players in the world have a chance of clearing it after like a couple weeks. But I don't know. I guess numbers go up, but like it also runs the risk of invalidating all of the progression systems that came before. If it is where we're giving you this thing to earn from the new raid that will eventually let you kill Kazeros, then like what the fuck was the point of doing all of the progression beforehand?
But we're pretty used to that, right? There are certain groups, without Transcendence, Thamine wasn't going down. You got powered up, also Karma. We're kind of just used to that exact thing, or like Voldus. Not the easiest or smoothest. Then you give it like 2 weeks, people get a 40 set and 5-minute re-clear. I think we're pretty used to that scenario. I think that is Lost Ark's progression system. I think it could work for Kazeros to be long stinted.
Yeah, I just think that numerically it might end up warping it to such an extent that in order to get everyone across by the end of the system, you're hitting for like tens of billions or maybe even trillions. I don't know. At that point, you're like months into the thing, so maybe it doesn't
matter. Yeah. I'm looking for a fight that has substance. Honestly, to me, the balancing of the fight, I would almost always prefer to it to be unclearable over easily clearable for a fight like Kazeros, for something that has been a 6-year accumulation of the game's story. Like, I don't want the boss to just keel over, and I don't want him to keel over on reclear either.
Well, I don't think you're ever going to be able to get to knock you over on reclear, because
mean-
you have to have it to where people worse than you can clear it.
True.
Like, you're not the worst player of the game.
Pretty shit.
Yeah, I'm not arguing
Pretty
that.
pretty dog.
I'm not saying that you're the best player of the game, but I am saying that in order to bring the lineup of character power to where more people can clear the thing, it's going to be that unless you choose not to upgrade your character, choose not to do the vertical progression along with everyone else in your raid.
Yeah, but what if the vertical progression is like the first? Okay, so yeah, he's gonna get easier on reclear, right? What I mean is I don't want him to fall over on reclear.
Unless, Eggman, what happens is it's a honeypot to where go in, you get your reward. Right now, everyone deals 20 million DPS, and you get your rewards from the thing. You go out, you do whatever the honing thing is, and it's powerful. It gets you to 25 million DPS on the first week. Incredible. You fight the boss. His enrage timer is like an hour, and at the enrage, you're at like 70% because you've been pumping as hard as you can. You've learned all of the mechanics for these phases. You're executing them perfectly, but you don't have enough dick. You can't get it done. And so you come in next week, now you're at 30 million DPS, and now you get the boss to like 65%. And then the next week you're 35 million, and then you just keep doing that. But as soon as you kill the boss, they stop giving you the rewards. And so now you're forever at this difficulty.
It would be weird, but like you could do it that way, to where you slowly gain power to the point where the developer's like, okay, this is where you should be able to kill it.
Yeah, and that point's going to be at a different spot for each group.
Yeah, sure, it's gonna get easier the second time you reclear it, right? But what if you only had one really big power gain the second you clear it, and then no more? That way, it gets easier, but it doesn't repeatedly get easier because you get stronger. It gets repeatedly easier because you get better at playing the game, which still makes it easier, but like that's the kind of easier I'm looking for.
That progression system of increasing your damage has to keep going for the less good people.
Yeah, I guess
like if Naamon's able to,
it can't be granted.
If Naamon gets this system, and he plays perfectly, and he does his 30 million DPS week 1 while you're doing your 20 million DPS week 1, he's gonna kill it 2 weeks earlier than you, but it still takes 2 weeks for you to catch up and be able to do the damage. But then there's going to be less good people. We'll call them, I would use me, but I don't play the game. We'll say Randall, who refuses to switch off of Princess Maker, who's going to need a lot more weeks of this system in order to finally do enough damage to clear the boss. Obviously, this is a raid-wide thing, not just individual. I guess the thing to say is that all of these weeks, while you're getting your progression, like Naamon would still have access to the system. Like, you can't just cut him off because you don't know that he is the giggest of Chads and could already clear it. Again, unless like once you clear it, it's a honeypot and prevents you from progressing the system,
stronger, yeah.
Which would be really lame because the game is about progressing the systems and getting stronger.
Yeah, I mean that would be an effective way to do it, but like yeah, it does mean that. But that means like after that means for the raids afterward. Yeah, like the people who can't clear it. Well, the reason to clear it would be to say you won, right? The vanity of winning. But the reason to not clear it would be because you could just infinitely scale your character power.
Yeah, and then next week it'll be a pushover and you can win for free.
Yeah.
And like you could even do it to where you could choose, let's say you win and then you get the choice to lock yourself every time you go into Kazeros. It's like, would you like to do this at your original power? And like it'll port you back to your original, but like realistically, who's going to take that option when you could instead take your increase in power character and then smash the boss?
Some people would sometimes choose to take the original healing just for content, but that's just because some people later in hell mode exists, right?
But that's going to be a very small percentage.
That's a cool idea though. I feel like they should have that option.
The honeypot option. Yeah. That way you're incentivized to kill it as quick as you can, so that way you can say that I have a week 2 character.
Yep, week 2 character, and then you get elbozoed because everybody starts to eventually do more damage to you without hands. A cool idea though. Oh, that brings me to another idea. You obviously can see the data of all the characters that clear. Be really fucking cool if after, I'm just gonna say it's Captain Jack's team that gets the first clear of Kazeros. If Captain Jack's team gets the first clear, it'd be really fucking dope if after like a month and a half or 2 months, they open up the option to play their characters at the power they cleared the raid at.
To see if you could do it with your hands?
Do it. Yes, yeah.
That would be cool. The challenge rift.
Yeah. Challenge rift, yeah.
But like of actually the...
Yeah, challenge raid. That'd be fucking sick, dude.